It's the Full Court Press with Eric Franson and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Rose, and yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
It's the Full Court Press. Jason Walker and Ajay Salvesen here on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
You wanted to do it so bad, just do it.
No,
Look, we got new listeners. It's 5 o'clock hour. They don't know.
That's true. Ajay Salvesen, everybody, the one, the only, Alphonse Jeremiah Santana the Fourth. Like how I say that, you just can't.
Dude, I'm using that at a restaurant. Hey, what's your name? Alfonso Santana Jeremiah the Fourth.
That's Alphonse, not Alfonso.
Alphonse.
That was I suddenly Al Capone. That was his name, Alphonse. That's what.
Who's Al Capone?
Like gangster, like 1920s gangster, like ran Chicago.
The only gangsters I know of are Peaky Blinders.
Okay, I didn't realize you didn't know who Al Capone was. Am I saying his name wrong?
Or the Newsies. I've never heard of Al Capone.
Capone. He's Italian. All right. That's something new. It's like how you didn't know raisins are dried grapes.
Let's not do that again.
No, we don't need to do that.
I ticked off so many of your listeners.
You more just flabbergasted me. I don't think the listeners were mad at you.
I was flabbergasted by you. I just couldn't believe it. I had no idea.
But welcome to the second hour. In the first hour, I'll be publishing that as soon as I can get to it. Either if I remember in the break in the second hour, or
should
just
really get a
after the
producer.
We'll see what we can do. But so we had the whole discussion. We talked about, is this? I had the discussion of whether or not it's sustainable for the Aggies, and I think it's going to be sustainable for teams to have success, even though they're replacing guys year after year, because everyone's going to be doing it. And so, although I think previously they said it wasn't sustainable, but maybe it will be. I don't know. Maybe I have to change my mind on that, because I thought, okay, if everybody's doing this, then I guess it is sustainable. Maybe if the Aggies end up being this, and granted, you have guys like Great Osborne, Ian Martinez hit the transfer portal. I don't think there's any way that you lose as many guys you did last year. I think a lot of these guys are going to stick around. So you're going to have most of your team, you're just likely going to be replacing your top 3 or 4 guys in points, rebounds, assists.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. And teams have done that before. It used to be you did that with graduation, and then you brought up all your, sophomores and juniors, and then the seniors and juniors, they basically repeated that. We saw that at times with Stu Morrill. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see if the Aggies can sustain some kind of success, even if they have to repeat things. It may be less enjoyable if you keep having year after year mercenary squads. But maybe that's just what college sports is going to be. Because, even professional sports, people get upset about players moving on year over year in pro sports. But at least they stick around for 2 years or 3 years at least.
Yeah.
That's going to be more off. We're going to have longer tenures from 2A players on the Jazz than guys on Utah State.
Probably going to be the case. Unfortunately, that probably will be the case. But welcome to college basketball, or college sports as a whole, this in the new era.
9-5 asks, well, does Ajay know who Bonnie and Clyde are if you don't know who Al Capone is?
I've heard of Bonnie and Clyde. I'm
9-5 asks, what about Daffy Duck or Porky Pig?
Can we talk sports?
All right, let's talk sports. One thing, let's talk something positive, because something that was kind of fun is last night, the Utah Jazz. We're going to get to the Utah Jazz. But actually, we're going to talk about their opponent, the Cleveland Cavaliers, because there's a particular player on the Cleveland Cavaliers, former Aggie, Sam Merrill. His first NBA game played back here in good old Utah. And he went off for 18 points. I think he hit 6 of 12 or 6 of 13 three-pointers. So it just went, he was one of the leading scorers off the bench, played 32 minutes, had a big night. And here's actually, I want to play a clip of him. He was interviewed after this. Was I don't know if it's Bally Sports or Bally Sports. It's spelled Rally, but with a B. And I don't know if it's still pronounced Bally or if it's Bally. But I'm going to say Bally Sports Cleveland. They were the ones who obviously had this video, so I want to give them credit for that. But Sam Merrill talking afterward about playing in front of the state of Utah for the first time as an NBA player.
Sam, this is the first time that you've gotten to play an NBA game in front of your hometown. You made 6 threes. Is this what you would have envisioned, plus a win, this being like?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Honestly, I was pretty nervous. I haven't been this nervous for a game in a while, to be honest. But, felt like I played pretty well, made some shots, could have made a couple more. But like you said, we just needed to get a win tonight. And we got another one coming up tomorrow that we got to get ready for real quick.
What made you so nervous?
Just a lot of family here, a lot of people here that I know. Wanted to play well, but once I got out there, everything went away. So okay.
Is there a part of that where all these people who have been along your journey in these trials and tribulations to get to this point, they're here for you? Does that kind of play into that?
For sure, yeah, and obviously very grateful for my entire sports staff and everyone that's helped me along the way. And I'm going to go take a quick shower and thank them all here and hopefully sign some autographs.
I cut off earlier, like half a second too early.
It always does unquote it.
Yeah, so Sam Merrill obviously had a chance to talk about his game with, again, Bally Sports Cleveland. But, yeah, a fun night for him. And it's kind of becoming the norm, like, where fairly frequently Sam Merrill is having these kind of games. And it's really been a breakout year for him. Granted, there was a moment where he had a mid-season absolute breakout. He was becoming, like, national news, basically, because of his volume 3-point shooting. It was like, I think it was over like December and part of January, where he was just going nuts, and he had like multiple 20-point games, hitting like 8-9 3-pointers in a game. But part of that was because he was filling in. I think Darius Garland was out. Like, they had some guards and wings that were injured. Well, they came back, and then suddenly Sam Merrill, it was almost then that he was going to go back to the bench. And like in a 5-game span, he maxed out at like 12 minutes. There were 3 games where he didn't even play. So like kind of mid-February, it looked like, is he going to end up going to the bench? Is he going to play very, very much at all? But then there were some other injuries for the Cavaliers, so that's kind of saved him. So he's played every game for the Cavaliers since the start of March. And in that span, so we're looking at 18 games, he's back to averaging about 10 points, 25 minutes. I think over the last 11 games, he's shooting 43% from 3. So he's once again just rising fire. And Ajay, it feels like, obviously he was a great player in college, but watching him now, it feels like his release is so much faster. Like, it feels like that's one of the improvements he's made. Because obviously these guys are constantly working on their game, and they get much better in the pros than when they were in college. But, like, Ajay, when you watch him, does it feel like his release is like takes about half as long as it used to?
Yeah, so that's the great thing about the NBA is, for the most part, they don't make you change your form. They just help you improve your form.
Yeah, it's like the exact same form. It's just so much faster.
Quicker,
it's like amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's what NBA scouts, NBA coaches can do for you, right? And then the other great thing about Sam is that he found a system that where he fits perfectly. Like, perfectly. It's the way that he can help space out the floor with the right guys on the court that allows him to move freely from wing to corner, to move off screens, off the ball, and still know he can get the ball because you have players around you that have an IQ of where to find open shooters. Memphis couldn't do that, but this team could. Boston probably could have, but they just didn't want to give him a shot. Or not Boston, excuse me, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But Boston could have probably gave him that. It's amazing to watch him, and what he's doing right now is just honestly phenomenal, and it's so freaking cool.
Yeah, it really is fantastic. And granted, I do wonder a little bit because I mentioned that injuries have kind of facilitated Sam being in the rotation. Like they almost went away from him after guys got healthy. Like I have to imagine that Sam Merrill has found a niche in this league.
Yeah.
Like he is going to be that kind of guy who can be a bench shooter that every team will want. He may not stick around for more than 1 or 2 years in some places, but it feels like he's very much found a niche in the NBA. Do you think he sticks around in Cleveland to where it doesn't feel like they definitely know how to use him?
Yeah.
And they when they put him out there, he is a weapon that they are very willing to use, and they have given him the green light.
100%.
If you are half open, you
100%.
are completely open. Fire that shot. And they're willing to, swallow. There's been a couple games where it goes 1 of 7, 0 of 9. That's going to happen because they know these 6 of 12 games are going to show up.
Yeah. I've thoroughly enjoyed something else he was really good at in college, but now he's improved dramatically in the NBA. Is moving off the ball. Now, granted, there's a system, there's plays and there's angles he has to find. But I feel like he sees everything so much better when he doesn't have the ball in the NBA, where he can say, I can see everything ahead, but if I get this screen and this screen, I can get to this corner and I catch and shoot 3. Or if I roll here, set a screen, and then pop out to the wing, I can get a catch and shoot 3. His IQ of the game without the ball has just been so dramatically improved. It's awesome.
Well, I think it's a skill that's hard for him to develop because when was he going to develop that in college?
That's exactly right. When you have the ball in your hands 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's there'll be some off-ball plays where the star is getting the ball, but
you ain't trusting Bean or Burrito or freaking Alfonso with it. So
yeah, at that stage. So it's you might run off ball, but it's just because you're running around 3 screens and they hand you the ball at the top of the key and you go to work with it. So he's not developing that off-ball skill in college, but yeah, he developed that, and I think maybe that's one aspect where he's improved from his time in Milwaukee and in Memphis. And so he's very much become one of those guys in the NBA that I think is going to be an incredibly valuable, not a star player, but he's going to have a role in the NBA. And it's just so nice to see, and just seeing game after game after game, more and more. It's like, hey, here's Sam Merrill. He's made 5 threes today. And it's like, yep, must be a day ending in Y, because Sam Merrill is just going off. Just his efficiency, his ability to hit from anywhere, it's going to be valuable. And what you hope is that you might see some of these moments in the playoffs too. Then you hope that he's part, because playoff rotations can really get restricted. Once you receive once you get to the postseason, rotations get smaller. But you'd hope that you can see some great playoff moments from Sam Merrill, and not just regular season moments. But it's been a while since we've had a former Aggie play like this in the NBA. It's been a heck of a long time. 9-5. I keep missing some of the 9-5's text. I'm sorry about that. I'm not great at being able to read all of them, because I'll skip over one and then go to some others. But 9-5 texted and said, just the fact that Ajay was able to call a full season of horrible basketball and still be this excited talking about women's basketball. The great character he really has. Hard to do what he has done for the little guy. He may only be 4'0", but he acts like 220 and 6'2".
That's not a compliment.
He was. He's saying
it's a backhanded compliment.
He's saying you've got great
I'm not
character.
Stupid. I get backhanded compliments all the time. Hey, Ajay, way to go calling that game. Even though you sound like you didn't even want to be there. That's a backhanded compliment.
Oh, you're saying you were still excited even after.
You don't really have a choice. I don't know who's listening up on the hill. I hope nobody, but you don't really have a your job as the play-by-play guy is to be completely positive and non-biased.
Yeah, and he's saying you did a great job with it.
No, but then, dude, he called me 4'0".
Well, you just got to kind of brush that off.
That's midget. That's a midget size. What do you mean you got to kind of brush that off?
I was going to make a short joke, but I don't think I'm going to do it now. I don't want to do it because that's...
Look at you. Look at you.
Sitting up here on my high horse. That was that.
And then you're going to be like, oh, you're going to be on your pony, Ajay.
That wasn't the joke.
You're my little pony.
Well, the joke was going to be to say, I got to hand it to you, Ajay.
Okay.
Because I know you can't reach
Dude, okay, so Hartwell would always come to me and have, like, these short jokes. He'd be like, one time we were getting on a plane for a women's game, and he came with us, and there my bag was up on in like the carrier thing or whatever above, right? And he's like, "Oh, Ajay, what? Let me help you." Right in front of everybody. I was like, "Squeeze me a baking powder."
What you need to do is like play for gymnastics, because then you're about the same height as all the gymnastics players.
Jason.
In fact, you're even taller than some of them.
You just made a derogatory comment about the USU gymnastics team.
Oh, well,
how dare you?
You've not heard me talk about how athletic they are, though. Like, because you
understand
that
there's a backhand compliment. You're taller than the gymnasts, but they're incredibly athletic.
Yeah, like gymnasts tend to be short, but like they are pound for pound some of the most athletic people on the planet.
You know what, Jason? After the show, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna film you. You're gonna do a cartwheel in the hallway. We're going to post it on social media and ask the USU gymnasts to rate you like they rate them on the beam or the bars or the floor.
It's probably been a decade since I even attempted a cartwheel.
Well, let's undecade that and let's update your resume. All right, so, Jason, I asked this question yesterday because we were, Ian and Osborne were going to stay, right? Like, we asked that theory, Ian and Osborne stay. What is your expectations of this team? Now, Ian and Great are in the portal. So let me ask the wonderful listeners now. If Ian and Osborne do not stay, and you have this team now, what is your expectation of this squad?
I think on top of that, like, what would your expectation be in, like, is it fair to expect this team to keep being successful? Like, I've kind of gone back and forth. Like, can the Aggies be successful when they keep having to replace their roster? Is that sustainable? Yes or no? Like, in their opinion, is it sustainable? Can they have another 20-25 win season? Is it fair to, or is it like? I guess the answer is they can, but is it fair to expect that? Is it fair to keep it? Because we keep saying, like, the Aggies, they always win. They're 4 coaches in 5 years. Basically an entire new roster for like 2 or 3 straight years. But still 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances or something like that. So yeah. I guess, well, let's hear what you guys, if you have any renewed expectations. The day after everyone was saying if everyone returns, we expect to go back to the NCAA tournament like at minimum. A lot of them Sweet 16.
Yeah. Now without Ian.
Yeah. How much does that expectation change? We do need to take a break, so I'll let you guys stew on that. If you guys want to send in your text, 435-339-0321. We'll be back after this here on the Full Court Press.
Devotion to country, service to Utah. Brent Orrin Hatch had a front row seat, watching his father serve our state faithfully in the Senate. A constitutional conservative and lifelong Republican, Brent Orrin Hatch is a champion for the rule of law. He's running for Senate to stop this lawless president from destroying our country from within. Hatch will fight to secure the border once and for all and take on Mexican drug cartels to halt the flow of deadly fentanyl. Brent Orrin Hatch knows the national debt is just as big a threat to national security. Hatch won't rest until the budget's balanced and won't cave to the big spenders in both parties. Pro-life, deeply committed to religious liberty, rock-solid Utah conservative. Brent Orrin Hatch for Senate. Paid for by Conservative Outsider PAC, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.copac.us.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. We offer a large selection of personalized service and extraordinary benefits with our integrity price guarantee. At Match Quality, you'll find our prices to be as low or lower than any store in the state. We consistently beat any 50 to 70% off sales, internet pricing, or so-called wholesale deals. In fact, we even price our diamonds at internet pricing, so you'll get S.E. Needham quality at internet prices. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
The Sportsman on Main Street is loaded with great clothing, shoes, and equipment. This is Mark inviting you to come in and check out our awesome store. For 71 years, we have outfitted you, whether you are going on the trail or to the theater. Trust me, you won't see yourself coming and going as we work hard to have some of the most unique clothing and shoes you will see anywhere. If it's a bike, skis, or a unique clothing and shoes, I promise we will take care of you only at the Sportsman on Main Street in historic downtown Logan with tons of free parking in the back.
Are you seeking the best in healthcare services in Northern Utah? Look no further. Aegis Healthcare has been voted the best of Northern Utah. I am Jason Jones. We take pride in providing top quality home care and hospice services to the residents of Northern Utah. Experience the difference with Aegis. Our dedicated team is here to provide compassionate home care and hospice services tailored just for you. Call us today at 723-9000 or visit our website at myaegis.com. Aegis Home Health and Hospice, your trusted partner right here in your community.
Advanced Fireplace and Stove wants to thank you for voting them 3 years running the gold medal winners in the Best of Northern Utah contest. With over 35 display models in their showroom, their goal is to make the process of making your home comfortable and cozy an easy experience. With premier brands like Heat and Glow, Quadrifier, and Vermont Castings, they have something for every style, every home, every budget. Building or renovating, they've got you covered. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, where comfort is their business.
They never could play it, but they sure can talk about it. Eric Franson and Jason Walker on the Full Court Press.
Welcome back. Second hour in progress here on the Full Court Press, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan. Jason Walker. We've got Ajay Salvesen here filling in for Eric Franson. Wanted to mention this kind of a fun story involving a local man. There's someone from Smithfield who participated. So last night the Jazz played the Cavaliers. So Sam Merrill, kind of a big story there. But during one of the either timeout or halftime, there's one of those contests where you make like a certain number of shots. In this case, there was a man who had to make 3 3-pointers in under 30 seconds. And like if he makes the first one, he gets $100. Makes 2 of them, he gets $500. If he makes 30, he gets a car.
Holy crap! What?
And apparently he made all 3 of the 3-pointers.
I would have made all 3 of the 3-pointers.
From NBA?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. So
I'd be lucky to make one of those.
No. I'm serious. I would make all 3 in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
that's a freaking cakewalk.
You got to go chase your own rebounds.
Oh,
like
that's easy.
Every missed shot is like 8 seconds.
No, but if you make 2 within the first 12, you're in. It's easy. Okay, this is why I say that. Sorry, I mean I'm sounding arrogant, and I am being arrogant. But
I'm trying to dunk on this guy, or in other words, make a 3-pointer.
No, okay, so so back when I worked for the Utah Jazz Radio Network. Every Saturday morning, I would have a shift from like 6 a.m. to like 3 p.m. But there was a break from like 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And when I know how to schmooze and I know how to socialize, so I would socialize with the security team that you had to check in through every single Saturday and Sunday morning, like because I was the executive producer for Salt Lake Bees Radio, so I'd see them all the time. Linda, Rich, Aaron, and all these great guys. So anyways, one time I'm just going on a walk, and I was like, hey, can I go shoot? And they're like, just don't break anything and don't vandalize anything. I said, okay, great. So I'm going to grab my shoes, and I would just go. So every Saturday morning for like the next 3 years, I just go shoot on the Jazz court.
So you're very practiced. That's what it is. You've got this down.
Yeah. So I would go shoot on the Jazz court for like every Saturday morning for like 2.5 hours, give or take, for like 3 years. And I would work on my half-court shot, my 3-point shot. Oh, dude, I was legitimately, like, I was knocking it down like it was nobody's biz.
So can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Do you have any college eligibility left? I think the Aggies could use a guard.
I don't dare answer that question.
Because Ian's in the portal.
Well,
they need another outside shooter.
Here's the okay, so now I'm not no.
You got that 30-foot range.
Got that 30-foot range.
Or like 24 and a half, whatever the NBA 3-point line is.
It's really not that deep when you look at it.
I don't know. To me, it kind
Jason,
of is just because I'm used to shooting at the high school three my
Jason,
entire
you would
life.
make 2 out of 3 in 30 seconds. I truly think that. No, I'm dead serious. I think you would.
I would not. I know my 3-point shot. Like I could make one. Like if I shot 20 NBA threes, I could probably make one. But like that's only a probably. And it would only be because after 20 3-pointers, I might kind of get the distance down. Like, I'd have to practice, and then maybe I might hit one. You don't know how bad I hit outside shooting.
Really?
No. Like, like, I have to almost change, like, the way I shoot, like, I almost have to change, like, generate more power because my shooting form isn't very good.
Interesting.
And it's more built to be able to shoot from, from the high school three. So I don't think I could hit an NBA three. But anyway, this man did. He hit 3 of them in 30 seconds, although apparently it was initially like they weren't going to give it to him because apparently at first they said that, he didn't do it in time. And they weren't going to give him the card, but then apparently the crowd was like,
oh, yeah.
They were, it says the crowd's enormous disapproval. I'm reading this actually from KVNU. I believe it's also on CashForTheDaily.com. But apparently that disapproval basically changed their mind. Which, that's what happens, like, so many times you get these contests where somebody wins it, and then afterward they say, oh no, he didn't actually win it, he broke this random stipulation. And then it immediately turns into bad press, and then they give it to him anyway. It's like when that one guy, I think he was at a Bulls game, and he hit like a half-court shot, and Michael Jordan was like hugging him.
But then they said he was like a college athlete or something, so they wouldn't give him it. But then after,
But it's like horrible press. And I guess that whole process happened like, because usually it can drag out for like, they don't give it to him, then it shows up on the news, and like a couple days later they say, okay, we'll give it to him.
Well, Michael said he was going to pay for it himself at one point. And they're like, no, okay, look, like if he does that, we're going to look really stupid. So we'll just do it.
That's the thing is like, if you're ever like one of these companies and you try and say, oh, he didn't actually pull it off. And part of the problem is that these companies usually like they just get insurance to pay for it. And it's the insurance companies that say no.
You know what's crazy? I remember, so do you remember the Aaron Judge guy who got the 62nd home run or 63rd home run? And then they offered him, unreal, they offered him $3 million, New York Yankees autographed memorabilia, and an Aaron Judge signed bat. All that for that baseball. And the guy's like, no, I'll hold on to it. Then tried to go and sell it at an auction and got $300,000 out of it. Like, people are so dumb. Like, if because they take you inside, like, the fancy offices, the suite. They sit down with you, the general manager, the owner, marketing guy, media relations director, all those guys. And they say, hey, look, we want that ball. This is what we want to do for you. We'll give you $3 million, New York Yankees season tickets, autographed memorabilia, and a Aaron Judge autographed bat. I'm like, absolutely, whatever else you need. Here's the baseball. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he got $300,000 out of it after because he got cocky.
Basically, you
people
can
are
have
fetchers.
You have that a lot of the time. It's just some people they get all high and mighty and say, "Oh no, I can get more."
I'm good. Yeah.
Like,
anyways, that's cool. Good for that dude, though.
Yeah, gets himself a
Has
new car.
anyone ever won the car at the Utah State games?
I don't think anybody's ever won one of those. Like, they've not really had a big prize at most of those.
Yeah, they usually have the car. Isn't it like a layup, a free throw, a 3, and a half-court shot? Now, that one's hard.
Yeah, that's hard. Like, although, some people can kind of fluke their way into a half-court shot because it's just kind of a weird shot.
But I swear, they purposely picked the worst shooters that they could possibly find.
It's usually like there's a lot of times there is the stipulation that you can't have been like a high school athlete, especially not a college athlete. Like you can't have played the sport at like any notable organized level. So they're getting people who don't play basketball to attempt these shots.
Because they are, dude, like I've got people like, you ever seen Along Came Polly, where Paulie C. Hoffman freaking is chucking the ball off the backboard and he's like, raindrop.
Yeah.
White chocolate, that they're finding guys like him.
But like when you watch people doing when they shoot the layups and all that, and you're like, yeah, you can tell these guys have only played basketball the 2 times they had to in gym class. Which, fair enough. Like, not everybody has to play basketball, but it's like they do that on purpose so that you get these people who don't even know, like, what is this thing I'm holding? And they have them shooting 3-pointers.
And they think the target is the middle square of the backboard.
Yeah. It's the way they shoot it, it feels like that. It's also like when you do the field goal contests.
Oh, God.
Where it's like, most people who have played athletics or any sort of sport will at least know how to kick something. And
Yeah.
These people are like toe punching it straight to the turf.
Dude, okay, do you know what's really the hardest event? It's the Dr. Pepper toss in like that Coke or that Dr. Pepper.
Well, you like
bottle
have
thing.
to throw it to like some
Dude,
kind of that.
That's harder than it looks.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I wouldn't get that either. Like trying to throw it through a hole. It's like I can't throw a football accurately.
I wouldn't be able to get it. That'd be impossible.
But you can hit 3-pointers in 30 seconds.
Without even.
But that's
blinking.
because you practice. Like,
And honestly, I bet you, if JC and Carroll and I won't say JC.
were you talking about having a 3-point contest with J.C. Carroll?
If Gary Wilkinson, if you're listening, I challenge you to a 3-point contest. Winner buys dinner. Okay, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, we gotta do this. And you gotta film it too.
I would beat Gary Wilkinson in a 3-point contest. Easily.
Gary didn't ever shoot threes.
JC would be close. JC, I think I'd come close.
You'd be close to J.C. Carroll in a 3-point. Okay, that's gotta be your next podcast. Is you and J.C. having a 3-point contest?
I'm serious. I would beat Gary.
So I don't think Gary attempted a 3-pointer his whole career.
What?
Or did he?
You don't remember the Marquette game in the NCAA tournament? His step-back three that was like 2 inches off that would have won it for Utah State?
Well, he missed it.
2009, man, that one still stings with Stu Morrill. That's his most heartbreaking loss in the tournament. Yeah, he's attempted. Gary was a 3-point guy.
Was he?
As a big man, yeah. He was like a Memo Okur.
I must have mixed him up with somebody else then.
Just less of a beautiful stroke.
Because I didn't watch him as much as, like, he was like just before I started watching a lot of Aggie games.
I could beat Gary in a 3-point contest.
All right, so we got to get these organized.
Gary, if you're listening.
Ajay versus Aggie legends in 3-point contests.
Oh, dude. There's only 2 guys I wouldn't beat. Brian Green, Sam Merrill.
You're saying you would beat J.C. Carroll?
Oh, jeez. I'd come close with J.C. I wouldn't beat J.C. Or Tyler Newbold I wouldn't beat. There's no way I'd beat Tyler Newbold.
We got to go practice at a gym, and I want to see this legendary 3-point shooting.
Oh, it's like Kyle Korver.
I'm gonna have to see. Few texts on the text line.
What up, world?
896. We were talking about gymnasts, and also Ajay's height. 8968 says, one who is nearly 5'6". I hear short jokes all the time.
How dare them? He's 5'6". Or she. 5'6". Have some respect. I wish I was 5. If I was 5'6", do you know what my brother always told me? That if I was 6'3", I would have been a college Division I quarterback. I have a grip, so I don't grip with the laces. I grip outside of the laces. But I have a great arm, tight spiral. Probably would have won a state championship.
That reminded me of Napoleon Dynamite.
Uncle Rico?
Yeah, Uncle Rico. And then I know you asked a question before we went to this last break, and we got completely sidetracked talking about
sure did
NBA 3-pointers and winning cars. We were asking about expectations, kind of maybe reset expectations with the Aggies. Yesterday we were talking about, they're all coming back, so we should expect them to win a Mountain West championship, go to the NCAA tournament. Circumstances change. What are kind of the expectations now? If we now kind of make the opposite assumption, or more just about Osborne and Martinez. It's not like everybody's gone. But 2 key guys, and if all the guys that are in the portal now end up leaving, that's your top 4 scorers. Actually, your top 4 leaders in points, rebounds, and assists are all gone. 3 of them via the portal, Darius Brown via graduation. What would the expectations be then? 9 through 5, saying my expectation is it's impossible to hit 100% of the time, so sooner than later it's going to fall apart if we keep the same road. If they don't return, I am a little concerned. And see, that's kind of been my thought and take about the head coaching situation. Not so much the players, but I guess I just kind of assumed that, or I assumed that the Aggies wouldn't have to keep replacing players at this rate. Because, the Aggies have had incredible success in the transfer portal. They found good transfers like every single year they've been hitting the portal. Guys like Taylor Funk and Akin and Osibor, all these guys. But eventually you're going to have a year where it's just a bunch of duds or not as good. Like they don't win games. Like you look at Wyoming, they're full of transfer portal guys. A lot of them are JUCO guys. Didn't work out particularly well for them. I think Fresno State, they had several guys out of the portal. Didn't work particularly well for them. So what happens when the Aggies, if They're going to end up probably getting a bunch of guys out of the portal. Can they make it work every year? I don't know. I keep going back on this because there's part of me that thinks that it'll become sustainable. It might be hard for teams to maintain consistency, and maybe that's what it's going to be like in college basketball, where nobody's going to have consistency anymore because they're always having to replace their key guys in the portal, at least at the mid-major level. But there's part of me that thinks that there's going to be some teams that are going to be able to find success somewhat consistently, because if everyone has to hit the portal, then everyone has to face the same problems, so it just kind of resets the paradigm.
Interesting.
So it's an interesting thought there, where it's like, okay, if everyone has to replace their top, because the Aggies it's going to be pretty unlikely that the Aggies have to face what they did in basketball last offseason, or what football kind of had to face the last offseason as well, where virtually everybody is gone. And in the case for the Aggies, basically everybody was gone. But this kind of thing where Utah State, they have a player of the year, he's going to transfer or graduate, depending. And then you look at the rest of the Mountain West. We were talking about how the expectation is the Aggies could win the Mountain West because everybody else is losing key guys to graduation or the portal. Well, the Aggies are in the same boat now. Everybody has to replace their top guys now. So can the Aggies win the Mountain West Championship if they just get the best guys out of the portal, get their new coach, get on a roll? Everybody else has to replace their top guys, so it's just going to be that way again?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something that it's my opinion on that's probably going to flip-flop a bunch every time I think about it too hard.
I mean, it does for everybody, though, Jason, And you bring up some great points. I think, but that's what you do. You get in there, and you say, all right, what can I got to find the very best players that we can bring to Utah State, the very best. That's all you can do. And you try to develop them to become Mount West caliber players. If you can get the very best out of the portal that fit the mid-major, even if they're mid-major best players, right? That's good enough. That makes you competitive in the Mount West Conference, Jason. They don't have to be 5-star best in the country. They just need to be good enough to play mid-major basketball and be competitive.
Yeah.
But my question is can we win that battle with other schools mid-major wise? Against P5, we get it, right? Money and all that. But can we win that battle in the mid-major war?
I think given that there's enough players in the talent pool, you're always going to be able to find good players.
Okay.
If you're battling against a Power 5 school, I get it. They're going to win. They're going to offer more NIL. That's just going to happen. But battling against other mid-majors, you're going to win that battle often enough. And there's enough of those guys that you're not going to have to battle a ton of people for those kind of guys. And Utah State, again, they're still an attractive place to come and play. They got guys like, Max Ekman-Polo to come here, Ian Martinez. I don't necessarily include Darius Brown and Great Osborne because they, the connections there. But, Taylor Funk, quality guys that didn't necessarily have these connections, direct connections to the head coach, following them. Because that's how Danak and Osborne Brown, they get here.
Yeah.
But you can find quality transfers in a lot of different ways. Usually there's a connection somewhere along the line, but I'm talking that more direct connection, following your coach to a new school.
Can I ask you another question, just a off-the-cuff question?
All right, let's go.
Since 2018-19, okay, that's
so you're talking Craig Smith's first year?
Yeah, Craig Smith's first year to now, right? You've seen the postseason every single year, COVID be it all what it was. Give me your starting lineup if you were to put a roster together with a 6-man from 2018-19 to this past year's tournament team.
Okay, I'm going to comp out slightly because we are up against a break.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Let's hit a break.
So we're going to go to a break, and if you guys want to chime in on the text
I would love
line,
to hear from the texters, too.
Yeah, 435-339-0321. I'll think about it. There's some pretty obvious ones, and I also think, am I going 5 best players or an actual lineup? So I'll think about that a little bit.
One team to win an NCAA tournament game, or at least get you as far as you can in the tournament.
Oh, yeah. The team you'd come up with would go to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. But
okay, deal. We can go to break.
We'll talk about that coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
Hello, I'm Becky Funk. Branch Operations Manager at Cache Valley Bank. I've spent 13 years in banking, and I'm ready to use my experience to help you with your accounts and financial goals. I have a great team of tellers and bankers who provide you with the personalized attention you deserve. Come visit me at our main branch or give me a call. Let me help you open an account and show you what makes us so great. We look forward to meeting you. Cache Valley Bank member, FDIC.
It's that first kiss, that moment in time.
Engagement season is in full swing, and Jarek's Fine Jewelry has been helping hundreds of couples find the perfect ring. If you are getting engaged, you have to come browse our collections. Sometimes you may find the perfect ring in just a minute, or we can help you custom create your own design. Oh, and with Mother's Day almost here, talk to us about designing the perfect mother's ring.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. My wife and I were laughing the other day because she read an article about things not to buy online. The first thing was prom dresses. Dresses advertised versus dresses delivered. Needless to say, what people thought they were getting is not what they got. It's much the same with mattresses. Almost always, buying a mattress online ends in buyers being let down. At My Mattress, we try to always exceed expectations. Lower prices than online and better beds. Only at My Mattress.
Campbell Snacks, home of Pepperidge Farm, is celebrating 50 years in Cache Valley and experiencing a multi-million-dollar expansion. And with it comes exciting job growth. As a proud silver winner for 2 consecutive years for Best Place to Work in Northern Utah, Campbell's provides benefits that make a real difference, like significant daycare discounts at local providers. Come join the Campbell's family offering excellent pay and hard-to-beat benefits package. Apply online
at careers.campbellsoupcompany.com.
That's careers.campbellsoupcompany.com.
In today's game, the momentum will shift when one team goes on a run. A run. Like the diaper run you made last night? If you're thinking of getting a vasectomy, the healthcare teams at Franklin County Medical Center in Preston are ready. A vasectomy is a highly effective form of contraception. It's a simple procedure with a short recovery time, and a vasectomy means less stress for family planning. Talk to the experts at Franklin County Medical Center in Preston about your vasectomy. Start by visiting fcmc.org today.
Nothing beats March Madness. The pure sound of a swish, the rattle of a slam dunk, the fans on their feet for the big moments. And the action just keeps getting better until a national champion is crowned. Hear all the action with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of this year's NCAA tournament, right here.
Catch all the action of March Madness on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, online at 1069thefan.com or the Fan mobile app.
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
It's the Full Court Press. Jason Walker here. Got Ajay Salvesen filling in for Eric Franson. You asked me, you mentioned kind of off-the-cuff question. This is probably a discussion you could have for a long time, but...
Okay, so here's a question. Start from 2018-19, which was Craig's first year. Go up to Danny Sprinkle's only year. Build me a 5-man starting lineup with 1 6th man that will give you the best run to the NCAA through the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, so I only really struggle with one position because there's some pretty obvious choices here. So basically, I have Darius Brown at point guard.
Okay.
That was one of the most obvious choices. I have Sam Merrill out there as well, and I have Neemias Queta. So I put Sam Merrill at small forward. Basically, kind of that wing, essentially. Not necessarily a guard, but one of the wings out there. And the other tricky one was when you've got guys like Justin Bean, Neemias Queta, and Great Osobor. Osobor doesn't really mix very well in a lineup with Neemias Queta. So I actually put Osobor as my 6th man. He would come in for Queta and play small ball probably with like Justin Bean.
Okay.
So basically, I've got Darius Brown, Sam Merrill, Justin Bean, Neemias Queta in the starting lineup, and then kind of that second guard spot. I was debating between Ian Martinez and I suddenly forgot who the guy was. It was Max Shulga.
Interesting.
So, like, obviously it's not just a list of the top 5 players, but it's me trying to build a lineup of who's the best point guard. It was Darius Brown.
Okay.
Stephen Ashworth, maybe a little bit, but Darius is better there. You know, Ian and Max aren't really in that top 5, maybe even top 6 or 7, like best Aggies in that period, but they're close enough, and they play that position maybe better. So
who's your head coach?
Probably Craig Smith.
Okay. So my starting lineup would be Stephen Ashworth.
All right.
Shooting guard would be Sam Merrill.
Okay.
Small forward would be Justin Bean.
That's where it's tricky because there aren't a whole lot of like true small forwards with the Aggies.
I say Justin Bean. Alfonso Anderson is at the 4. Namish Ked is at the 5.
You're taking Fonz over. I guess kind of similar scenario there, where Osborne and Ked, it's hard to put them on the floor together.
Osborne would be my 6th man.
Yeah, it's like Osborne's like arguably third best player in that but it's hard for him to.
And my head coach is Danny Sprinkle because he can coach offense and defense.
Yes, I really like Craig Smith's defense as well. I thought they were pretty good. Sprinkles might be a little better in that sense.
I like Schultz a lot. That would have been tough.
But like to me, it's like it would be between Smith and Sprinkle there.
Yeah.
So it just kind of leaned one way. So yeah, that's.
Are you gonna watch? By the way, what's your guys' schedule here now? With the NCAA Tournament Final Four coming up, was that Saturday, right? You guys?
Yeah, it's like Saturday, Sunday. I think we have one shortened show like next week.
Would that be that'd be Monday night for the national championship, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it. We'll be shortened to basically a half hour early next week, but pretty much full shows the rest of the way until we cut down to 1 hour. Probably around the end of April is about when we're shooting for. We kind of wing it whenever we do that.
Yeah, you can never tell. When does high school sports come to a close?
About same time, like end of April. I think some of the championships are like really early May.
Okay.
So, one quick update before we hit a break as we starting to reach the close of today's show. Utah State and Nevada going up against each other in a doubleheader today. Utah State taking the first game in this softball doubleheader, 6-5. Get a walk-off single in the 9th inning, went extra innings. To win that one 6-5 over Nevada, who right now is first place in the Mountain West. And we're at the end of 5 innings. And Utah State and Nevada are tied in the second game of this doubleheader. So Aggies with a chance, perhaps, to go 2-0 in this 3-game series over the top team in the Mountain West. Would certainly go a long way to bouncing back from a 3-0, getting swept 3-0 by UNLV last week on the road. We're going to take a quick break. We'll close things out here on the Full Court Press. Coming up next.
Do you have a backup generator, or have you explored the options of adding one to your home? Generac backup generators will keep your home or business safe and cool during the summer months if the power goes out. Do you already have a system? Golden Spike Electric can service it for you. If you don't have one, Golden Spike Electric can find the right model for your needs. Find them online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. Golden Spike Electric and Generac, power you can count on.
Rely now on a York Affinity Premium Comfort System to keep your home cool and comfortable. The new Affinity systems are smarter and more connected and more efficient than ever before, and you can cut your energy costs by as much as 50%. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York dealer, to schedule a free system evaluation. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning showroom is west of DI and online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Experiencing asthma, allergies, or hearing problems? Turn to Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in Providence and the Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat have decades of ear, nose, and throat experience for children and adults. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette provide cutting-edge techniques ensuring you the highest quality of service and results. Go to CacheValleyENT.com. That's CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, helping you live the life you deserve.
Hi, this is Ashton with the Westside Coffee Company. We are ready to help you start your day with a tasty egg sandwich, filling burrito, fresh acai bowls, or one of our many vegan or gluten-free options. We've got a great lunch menu with our signature potacos and sandwiches using only the highest quality boar's head meats and cheeses. And don't forget, we have a Taco Tuesday with different gourmet tacos weekly. Grab a delicious beverage. We have hot coffees, iced coffees, Italian sodas, hot chocolates, matchas, monthly drink specials, and so much more. We have something for everyone. Stop by and see us serving up great food, great drinks, and positive vibes at Logan's best breakfast stop, the Cozy Cafe where you start your day. Located at 285 North, 100 West in downtown Logan.
Here's Chad Norton, the lawn doctor, with a tip for your lawn.
Green grass will be here soon this spring. We are excited to continue to offer our 2-service soil enrichment package. Here's what our customers have noticed: improved water retention, reduced compaction, stimulated root growth, and an increase in nutrient and fertilizer uptake, resulting in a greener and healthier lawn throughout the season. Sign up early and get the second service half off.
Watering help, weed, fertilizer, and pest control. Call the lawn doctor at 753-LAWN or go to lawndoctor.com.
No matter what the condition, DD Auto and Salvage can get your vehicle off your property. Now is the time to make some extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that old junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it easy to get rid of your junker vehicle, paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204.
And call today. See store for details.
This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
LeBron's run with the Lakers, I would call spotty, with the injuries, with some years not making the playoffs. No, I said that. I said spotty. I didn't say a total bust. But they did get the bubble championship. But there have been other bumps in the road. You mean a championship? I just said it was in the bubble.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Weeknights from 6 to 8 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan. The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools, the full court press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Final segment of the show here on the full court press, and we started the show with not so great news. We're going to end the show, unfortunately, with some not so great news. Not to get too down on things, because right now the Aggies are facing transfer portal attrition. Seems to be the new norm. In a few weeks, we'll be looking at whatever new players are coming to Utah State. But we started with the news that Great Osborne, Ian Martinez are entering the portal from Utah State. They entered kind of around lunchtime. And in the last half hour, in fact, pretty much just a minute ago, news coming across on a couple of different players. Dallin Grant is entering the portal. He redshirted for the Aggies this year. Came off of an LDS mission, redshirted with the Aggies. He's now leaving. Another player who announced he's leaving, though, again, this was just minutes ago, and that is Javon Jackson. He is now entering the portal as well. So we're up to, I believe, 6 Aggies who have entered the transfer portal. Osibor, Martinez, Falslev, Jackson, Grant, and Landon Brenchley. So there will be at least 6 players who are going to be departing, presumably departing Utah State. Always a chance they can come back, but it's certainly feeling like a lot of these guys waited until they found out who the new head coach was. Talked to him. I don't know if some of these guys are being told to leave or leaving on their own volition. That's obviously, you can never tell that. But I mean, I can't imagine Calhoun.
I don't know if Coach Calhoun's like, Javon Jackson, you're really good. Came off the bench where, you lit it up. Hit the portal, buddy.
But he did also tell these players, we'll win a national championship if you all stay. So I don't know if he would have told anybody to leave. But the fact of the matter is, we're going to see a lot of new faces. The dream of keeping a lot of these guys here, that pretty much went out the door. But
I know we don't hit the panic button.
No, you don't.
I am a little concerned, though. Well, I'm not going to lie. Well, and they can come out of the portal and be like, all right, look, I got my look, I got my taste. I'm coming back to Utah State, but why now after they probably met with Coach already?
Yeah, a lot of players think Utah State players apparently seem to be smart in doing that, because a lot of players sprint to the portal and enter like the second it opens on a lot of teams. And Aggie players seem to wait, see who the new head coach is. So they don't rush to the portal, but once they meet the new head coach, then they're making their decisions. And that's what I was talking about on the show. Like, hey, look, coaches get announced, and then that's when players are going to start making their decision to enter the portal. The fact that they didn't enter all last week, I wasn't really buying that meant they were going to stay. I know kind of got our hopes up yesterday a little bit, but that's the thing. These guys have now made their decision to enter the portal. Most of them are like, I'd be surprised if very many of them came back, if any do at all. It's rare for guys to enter the portal and then return to the team. They do that sometimes, but it's going to be hard. Are these guys going to want to be the last one on the team? Because we're getting down to 6 or 7 players left on the roster. Well, actually, if there's 6 in the portal, that means there's 9 left.
9 left, yeah.
Because there's 1 graduation, so there were 16. Do the math. I can do that kind of math. But that's going to pretty much do it for us today on the Full Court Press. If you want to keep track of all the transfers for both men's and women's basketball, I've got the transfer portal tracker on CashValleyDaily.com. I'll update that every time there's news for both men's and women's basketball, so keep an eye on that to figure out which transfers are coming and going. That'll do it for us tonight.